Okay, after deciding what to do cutting wise, I went ahead and put some painter's tape along here just to give myself a little bit of a guide. It's not necessary, but I think it helps me. So let's get to cutting. As you can see, the cuts turned out real nice. So one of the things you do need to do though when you're working with the adhesive mat is to make sure that the stones are completely dry before you go and hang it on the wall. So if you have access to a heat gun, use that, or a blow dryer would work okay too. Now just go over evenly and make sure that these are completely dry. Don't forget about the back before you try to hang them on the wall. They will not stick otherwise, and you're going to get plenty of water on them. Just heads up on that. Alright, now let's talk about how to cut into the backsplash in order to make room for your electrical outlets and switches. So the method I'm going to use, because I believe it to be the easiest, is mock up your backsplash and count how many rows up these tiles come until they get to the bottom of your void here. So we got 1, 2, 3, and it goes really nicely there. Let me move it over a little bit more just to give a better presentation of it. So we'll have just a touch of space here, but that's perfectly fine. So what I'll do is separate the tile. I'll cut this entire bottom section off, apply it, then we'll fit this middle section right here, and we'll cut it where we need to in order to clear this. Now, the same thing will be done on the opposite side. On this side, we'll cut this as well to fit, and then we'll run the remaining top section over, and we should have one complete piece. And I'll try to capture that, as much of that on video as I can. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna get as much of this on video as I can. So this is the edge that butts up against the cabinet, and we counted 3 rows up. So that's how many we're gonna splice out. Now I could flip this around, but I'm just gonna show it this way. I think it's a little more representative and easier to follow. So you just cut the mesh in the back. It's real easy. And there's our 3 rows, and we'll be using this for the bottom. I'm just gonna gently tap it in. So I've stuck this beginning piece on the wall, and as you can see, the glass versus the stone are at just a little bit different heights. So I'm going to make sure I put all my spacers under the glass. That way I can have as consistent as a level as possible. And again, I just kind of nudged this on. I didn't press it at all. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this piece and then do final press. Okay, I fitted this piece on, and now I can put the top piece on. And I'm just eyeballing this and trying to make sure that the gap between the tiles are the same. So the next step is to, I gotta cut again. I'll cut a little bit out of this in order to make it complete. So that's our next step, is just to cut right here, and we'll have one section done. I think we're set there. I think this is good. Now all I need to do is press these in. So I'll take my grout tile and just hold for 5 seconds, which will put the adhesive to the final set. Okay, as you can see, as I work my way underneath the microwave, we're a little tall, so we need to remove one row. So I'll just be making a cut all the way along that to remove that top row. And if needed, you can always just pull these off individually. Like I did up there, they come off pretty easily. One quick tip, when you're installing these, even a whole sheet, don't be afraid to cut it up into individual strips when you're not quite getting the spacing you want. For example, I cut this 2 tile section off of the entire larger section because the tiles up top, the spacing was just a little bit too wide from tile to tile. So I'm cutting these off in order to space them correctly. So I can manipulate this one easier with just the 2, and then I'll try to place the rest of the top pieces separately. That way I can get the correct spacing that I want. That's pretty good. Now when measuring your final cut for the corner, don't be afraid to actually cut these up into different sections, because you may find that some pieces are just a little bit, or need to be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter than others. I took a pretty broad measurement of 4 inches that, 4.5 inches that should cover everything, but I may need to go and individually trim some of these up, and I'll probably trim them on this side, since this will be the side going against the corner there. So what I'll probably do is try to test fit this, and if I don't get the gaps I want, I will just cut maybe in sections of 3. So 1, 2, 3, cut here, and then do another one, and just place them up individually like that. That way you can get more consistency when you put it down. However, you know, if everything's lining up perfectly, you won't have to do that. We'll see in my case, let you know. I did end up going ahead and cutting sections of 3, just because at the end here, some aren't exactly lined up as well as others, and there's just different lengths to contend with. Not much, but you know, even a 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch can make a decent amount of difference in the end. So I'm just cutting these in sections of 3 and fitting them individually that way to get the best fit possible. This section is done. It took about 40 minutes, I think, just to put this area on. But that's the price you pay when you're going for perfection, and potentially when it's your first time. After putting this piece in, you can tell there's a little difference in height here. But, you know, there's nothing I can really do about that. It's just how it worked out. After everything's up, I don't think you're going to be able to notice all that well. Not to mention it's towards the top, so this is generally an area that is not seen, at least not seen very often. So although that'll bug my mind, you know, I think it's okay. I think it'll be just fine. Otherwise, just going to continue down the wall, keep moving. Now I'm installing the very top row of the backsplash, and I'm able to use 3 tile strips, but I'm having to sometimes remove a piece because it's not quite fitting up there as perfectly as I would like it. So I'm actually taking pieces out as I need to, and sometimes even trimming them lengthwise just in order to get them to fit a little better. Like you see I've done up here, this one is trimmed a little bit. Obviously you can tell that's the one's a little skinnier than the rest, and that is just because I had to get those to fit. So don't be afraid to take these apart and trim them as needed. Another thing to consider and just be aware of are your starting points. For example, at the end of this run, I actually started from the corner and worked all the way over to the window. Now, this was actually a mistake. Although it looks okay, you can see that I had to end up cutting little tiny pieces in order to fill these gaps. Now, after the mortar's in, this is going to look just fine, and in my opinion, it looks okay right now. But if I thought ahead a little bit more, I would have started the piece here and had, you know, these larger tiles and I would therefore need these little tiny spliced ones. And I would have brought it all the way over to the corner where I could have put my little tiny splices. That way they would have been hidden in the corner. Obviously that area gets less light, so it would have been all the more less visible to do that in the corner. So keep that in mind. It's just something I overlooked. I don't really think it was that terrible, and I think I corrected the mistake fairly well. So I would say just keep an eye out for that when you're doing your project. Make sure you know where you're going to start and where you're going to stop.